Okay, good afternoon, gents. Hope all is well. It is the 4th of October. By golly, and the month's moving quick. Okay, so let's have a look. I've just been watching this morning, and I know at the moment we're really oversold. I hear Max say that every day, so I wouldn't be shocked if we get a leg up, couple of legs, and then some upward stuff today. So that's possible. So how you doing, Indy? Hey, how you doing, pal? Stop Hunter, good morning from California. Sounds nice and warm. Mahir, how are you, my friend? So, yeah, I've been looking at this. Now, I came in the chart. I've just been running around doing a bit of housework, actually. Running the Hoover around. Or vacuum for you US guys. So, I'll speak in the moment. I've been trying to rush around, do some things. So we had a couple of legs down, leg up, couple of legs down. There was two smaller legs there, and I looked at that, actually, because there'd probably been a few shorts go there. When it started coming down, I was tempted to get into there, but for a couple of points, there was a comfortable couple of points there. But we are going up, and I generally, as a rule, don't counter trend trade, but I was pretty sure that was going to come down to test this line, and it did. So there you go. Speedy, how are you, mate? So a decent size push up and then one leg, two leg. Now I'm going to bring the 4,000 tick chart in. It's a little bit clearer there. So we touch there, touch there, touch there, and we've had a break and we've made one attempt to make a new high. So having a bigger time frame is a lot more clearer. That actually fits really nice there. It doesn't fit as nice on the... We're going from... I tell you what, let's bring them in side by side. Let's make that a bit smaller. You can see there, that fits nice. It doesn't really. If I go off from there, that first swing, it fits really nice at the tops as well. It doesn't here. It goes over to what looks like more of a two-tiered channel. So I know I've put the one channel in there, but I have a feeling if we push up, there's going to be a two-tiered channel working on there. But it actually fits really nice in there. So we've had a break in the way of two legs. And then we've had one attempt to go high. We didn't make it. We're about a tick short there. So a couple of legs back. We may try again. But I have a feeling we're going to have a leg up, a couple of legs back, and another leg up. As I say, I hear people saying we're really oversold. So I wouldn't be shocked if we had quite a push up today. It's been pretty downwards for quite a long time now, isn't it? So there you go. Not too bad. Got my third P8. Good on you, mate. Good on you. Good for you, mate. I think when you get your PAs, you've got to, let me think, what's the word I use for myself? You've got to protect them like your life depends on it. Because the good thing about the PAs, now, if you're like me, you've spent a ton of money on this, on all the evaluations. Now, when you build up to 20 PAs, theoretically, as long as you don't blow in them, you're never going to put any more money into Apex, are you? If you've got those accounts, you're not going to do any more evaluations and you're not going to have to pay for any more PA accounts. So I know we all go through phases of squandering our PAs, for want of a better word. I've certainly done my fair share myself. What have I've blown 37 in all PA accounts. But at some point, I tend to keep them for longer now. And I have managed to withdraw a total of $10,000 out of them so far this year, which is not a huge amount, but it's better than last year. So I personally don't think you can go from having one account to building straight up to 20 accounts and withdrawing $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a month. I just don't think our minds will allow us to do it. It's too stressful. But building up slowly, I was chatting briefly to Chris Childers. He's a trader as well, and he works for Apex, and he's had the same thing. He's won some, he's lost some, he's won some, and he's just had his biggest payout of $14,000. So I do think we just slowly accumulate more, and we maybe lose a bit, and then we get a bit more and we get a bit better. So I think it's a slow road, but it's a road I think I'm well and truly on, for want of a better word. My last big loss was 4 accounts, which was about, I don't know, a month and a bit ago. And then I spent a lot of time, which I think you usually do, fighting the market and throwing more money at it angrily. But now I seem to have found a little bit of calm, if you like. So hopefully I can build back up again. So there you go. So yeah, good on you, Speedy. Protect them like your life depends on it, mate. The good thing is with that account, you'll never have to pay money again for that account, as long as you keep it intact. So slow and steady, I think is the word. We all try and rush them, me as well. I've done stupid contracts sometimes, and I think I keep going back to that Vince that had the interview, and he had a conversation with Daryl, and Daryl said straight away, patience and too much risk is where everyone goes wrong. Everyone risks too much, and the trouble is too much risk equals too much stress, and you've got more chance of blowing stuff. So far I blew 28 of them. You do better than I am then, mate. You pull 0 out. Yeah, you will do, mate. You will do. You'll hit a time where you'll get a payment out, and then you might mess around for another month or two, and then you'll get a couple of 3 payments out, and it'll carry on like that. So you will, mate. If you stick at this long enough, you will. And then I genuinely believe they get better and better and more of them until you get to hit some consistency. But we all know how tough it is mentally. And you can't just switch from, a normal brain to a trader's brain overnight. It just doesn't work. It does take time to slowly. A guy called Martin Keychak I chat to now and again. He's a guy that's on the Facebook group. And he said to me, the words he used was, it's a way of forging that brain. And that's exactly what it is. It's like forging a piece of steel, isn't it? You don't get a lump of steel and turn it into an amazing sword or knife overnight. It takes time. So that's what I believe. Hey, Kev, how you doing? You need to reload. Okay. I'm glad you're here to remind me. It's amazing how much different there's quite a nice looking bar there to fade that. The only trouble is, if this I'm just a bit wary about going long here at the moment because the EMA is facing down. Now, I am looking closely. Let's have a look at that. Oh, that looks a bit different already. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? I am looking closely at that bigger channel, but Christ almighty, I'm glad you told me to do that, Kev. It's surprising how bloody different that is, isn't it? Let's have a look. So let's just do that. That might... Yeah, I'm just... I don't really want to go long here. I want to give the market a chance. Okay, so market is officially open. So just take that channel with a pinch of salt. Don't look at my channel and think, oh, yeah, that's right. Because it may not be. I just tend to put it usually off those first 2 swings. It usually plays a part, but it might not always. So market is officially open. Thanks for the support. Yeah, anytime, Speedy. We've all been through the same thing. We all know what it's like, and that's what it's about, helping each other. Because you'd be surprised how some nice, calming, supportive comments in your hour of need makes a big difference. It really does. Okay, so there is... you could call that high or low. It's a small risk, but my thoughts are on this bigger channel. Let me just... in fact, that bigger channel is looking very different now. I've reloaded that. Very different. Okay, so... I'm going to leave it there for now. Let's see if there's a... Yeah, it's a bit iffy at the moment, isn't it? It's a bit in the wind. In fact, I'm just going to leave it there for now. In fact, I'll tell you what. We are going up a leg and a leg. I'm just going to remove it for now and just put that there. Just so that's sort of what I expect to happen. Usually off those first 2 swings, market will work its way back. Not all the time, but a lot of the time. So it just gives me an idea. If we do get down to here and start working up, I want to be looking for a long... bearing in mind we have got that news in about 30 minutes. You guys keep reminding me and I'll remind you, because even though I've got that giant red thing on there, I still tend to forget sometimes. Okay, so that measured move as played out quite nicely, actually, to the nearest tick. Well, one tick off, so let's just take this down a fraction. Yeah, let's just keep that there at the moment. I have a feeling we're going to go sideways until we come to here, and then we may pop up. That often happens with these big channels. Okay, so I'll leave that there as temporary. But it'd be nice to work back here and start nicely bouncing off here. Then I'd expect another leg up. So just for now, whether it's there or whether we come back a bit lower. So just for now, I'm going to pop that there as a possibility. Okay, that's just going to get on my nerves. Let's no, I need something there really. Somewhere around about there. If we do come sideways and start pushing up, then I may take some interest. Hopefully, if we are in a range, hopefully it may bounce off another couple of more times before we get here. And if we are in a range, then hopefully break below there and continue down. There is a possibility. Now, just in case any of you guys are interested, you'll notice I've got something new on the side here, this trade journal. I've been looking at a couple of these trade journals for the last week or so. I've started writing stuff down, but there's two I've been looking at. This one, and which is Trader Sync, and TradeZella, is it? There's two of them. So I had a Zoom meet with that guy from Trader Sync last night, and he's given me a copy of it to sort of to use, and I've had a little bit of a play around with it. It takes a bit of time, but I like the way it gives me my percentage. I might get it in later. We'll see anyway. But I have got managed to get us a discount. If anybody is interested, it's there anyway. But 50% off an annual thing. But I'll go into it in maybe a couple of days or something. But I don't know if any of you guys. Shit. Excuse me a second. Okay, sorry about that. Dog knocked one of the I don't know, heavy box off. Shit me pants then. Okay, so look at that. Leg up, leg up. What was I saying? Okay, yeah, anyway. So it's there if you want to have a look at it, but it's just like a trade journal. But I think the basic one is, I think, about $25 a month, but I can get 50% off. If anyone is interested, it's there anyway. But I'll talk about it more in the next couple of days. I want to have a play around with it first, but I have tried writing stuff down, but I like the way you can, with this, you can import your, you can put, it links to NinjaTrader and you can import everything over so it shows you all. But when I've been playing around with it for a couple of days, I'll drag it in a bit and you can have a look at it. He's also given me a free giveaway, the Elite version, to give away to someone, a free 12-month version of it. So I'll do that at some point, but I want to have a play around with it really before I sort of plug it. As when you're a YouTuber, you get offered all sorts of stuff. I've turned down most of it, to be fair. Some guy offered to pay me $400 a month a couple of weeks ago to advertise some indicator for TradingView, but none of us use TradingView, so it's just kind of, what's the point? I only sort of really advertise, I mean, obviously Replicanto and Apex, and this thing here. I only tend to sort of mention things that I use myself. Anything else that I think is crap, it's just no. I'm not trying to bore you to death with new things. But the trading journal I've been looking at, so over the next couple of days I might drag it out. But the guy has given me a free giveaway to someone for a year, the Elite version anyway. But I'll talk about it in a couple of days. But so we've got a bit of a channel here. It may just be a couple of legs. Let's have a look. I did this the other day, didn't I? Tanarivo. I hope I haven't murdered your name. I did mention it. I do recognise you. You were new a day or two ago, weren't you? So hello to you. So that's the trouble, really, with some nationalities. They have unusual names, sometimes quite hard to pronounce. So I hope I haven't murdered your name. I apologise. I have. Oh man, I blew 5 PAs and can't even breathe. When did you do that? Not just I'm having nightmares. I'll tell you what, Kev, and I think I'm a rough, tough guy, just like anybody else. But I honestly shit you not, when I lost those 4s, it brought tears to my eyes. Honest to God. It is one of the worst feelings I've ever had. I'll tell you what, put it this way, my wife has seen tears in my eyes 3 times since I've been, and I've been with her for about nearly 30 years. Got together quite young. Once when my daughter hurt herself when she was 8 days old, when my mum passed away a little under a year ago, and when I lost my 4 accounts. And that literally, I had to have my hands over my eyes out of embarrassment, but it is a horrible feeling. And I wouldn't wish that on anybody because I know what it's like. Okay, so I'm just wondering whether that might be a bit of an overshoot there, in which case I expect it to come down. There is a lower high there. I don't think that's a bad trade, actually. Okay, it's clearly worked for a couple of points. We've come off the tops. I was very tempted to take that. I wish I had done now, because that's gone for 5 points already. It's touching there, and it is a bit of an overshoot. So I think you can say, 1, it's a bit of an overshoot, and 2, it's a break out the top a little bit with a bearish bar. So I was very tempted to take that. I kind of wish I had done because it went for 5 points. Nearly, but I don't think it's finished yet. We'll see. But you'd have certainly got 4 points out of it. It ain't finished yet. It'll come down more, that will. Got a leg down, a little bit of a pull up. That's been triggered. That long, I wouldn't go long there, so I guess that for me is coming down to stop that out. So I'd at least get down to the midline. But yeah, that's a shame. So that's actually a failure. Where's the MA? Oh, right, okay. Yeah, try to go 1 strike, so it's a failure. That's triggered, but I'm just not sure about this. Just in case I misjudge that. I'm just wondering if there is a slightly maybe off this. Okay, so that's very tempting, isn't it? I've got to be careful here. Let me just try it. Might be a bit of a spike in channel. I'm not sure here, so you've got to be careful making it. See, it kind of looks right, but I just don't know. I don't like the fact that I've missed out these two. Hey, Ryan, how you doing, buddy? News in 4 minutes. Good on you, mate. Yeah. 4 minutes? What time is it? 3 o'clock, isn't it? 4 minutes? What news are you looking at? Right, okay, impactful. Yeah, it might be. I tend to not have anything apart from the higher. Hey, Rodian, how you doing, buddy? No, I'm not a fan of that just yet. Are you into your cricket, are you, Rodian? No, we've got the World Cup on at the moment, just about to start. Ryan, PMI. Yeah, 10 o'clock. Yeah. I've got it down as well. 3 o'clock my time, UK time. Okay, we've gone from there to there. Sideways. I did say I expected it to go sideways and come to here. And the good thing is it's hit the top 3 times now. So if I give it plenty of time to push back if it was a range. You did the failure. Yeah, trouble is because we're going up. I was a bit unsure about that. I did look at it. In fact, that one I looked at, the lower high, because it did look like a bit of an overshoot there. But if I was going to take a failure, I'd have probably put it below there, but we had that midline, so I was just a bit. And the trouble is as well, I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, for me, it looks like we're going up. So I wasn't sure about that channel, but as we're going up and sideways, I didn't really want to go short right in the middle of that what's it. So that one I wish I'd have taken. It does look like a bit of an overshoot. We've touched here, there's a touch there. I kind of like that, fits nice there, and it did look like just a quick sharp push up for me caused an overshoot. But at the end of the day, if we're going sideways anyway, generally you'll come short from the tops, and after that little overshoot, short anyway with a lower high. I was tempted there. Okay, interesting to see what's going to happen here. Touch, push up. A lot of the times it'll push up. When it goes sideways quite a bit, sometimes it'll bounce off and come back down, but that's hit 3 times and still going sideways. So for me, just out of experience and watching this happen again and again and again, I'd say we're likely to push up from around here. So I'm looking for a long, somewhere around about here, ideally with a higher low, I think, before I think about going it. But for me, after that push up and sideways, I expect another leg up. Market is really oversold at the moment, so. I want to come right to this side. Before I'm happy with that channel, I want it to bounce off it multiple times. Okay, so little channel break, new low. So let's see it start to bounce. If we get a bounce and then maybe a higher low, I might look to go long there. But we've had this leg up. It looks like to me we've had a leg up. Looks like to me one attempt to go lower, second attempt to go lower, and this is where I expect the market to push up from. If I'm right, obviously, news depending. We had the same sort of thing yesterday, didn't we? Where were we? Where was the news? Was it here, I think, wasn't it? We went trending up nicely, and all of a sudden we had that news, and then everything just sort of collapsed, didn't it? A lot of times when we get that drop, it does recover really quick, but we didn't there. It just kept coming down and down and down, and it just continued, really, that little push up. But obviously my trade, I finished, but there was definitely some setups yesterday, so if you did trade for a good chunk of the day, you'd have probably got some decent setups there. Okay, so see that where that's touched right on my line, I put that there. It didn't randomly appear. That's where I touched it, and look what happened. So those first two swings really, really do play a part. I mean, what's the chance of that hitting that right to the nearest tick if it was random? But I'd rather it come back and test this line and then maybe pick off a higher low. See, it hasn't come to the bottom, has it? It's bounced off there before it hit the bottom, which tells me another reason why I think that bigger channel is correct. I'd like a pullback, ideally, maybe retest this slightly further up a couple of times and then a higher low, and then I'll hopefully see, I think this is a penguin trade idea. We got a leg up, made two attempts to go lower, pushed up strong through the EMA. I think that's a penguin trade personally. Stop here. Okay, that's triggered that bar. So I'm just a little bit curious these days, a little bit extra cautious these days. I want it to hit again once or twice, really. I want it to try to break. Yeah, that's you're on about those. So we've got a push up, 1, 2 legs down, push up strong through the EMA. I'd like to retest this or at least have a go at it. PT may say there's a reset after that second leg down. Bear in mind we have got that news, so just be a bit cautious here. It is 9 minutes away, but Edward, how you doing? Please be mindful of how close we are to the news. Absolutely, mate. That's what I got there. Thanks for the extra reminder. Sometimes I'll forget, but I'd like to test this again once or twice. At least give it a chance to break before I think about going long. Okay, so if Penguin took that, he's just got stopped out. So it looks like a leg up with 2 attempts to go lower and a push up strong through the EMA. So I don't know whether he'd take that type of trade. Be interesting to see if he does. Right, let me have a look at this, because I can adjust this a fraction. Okay, touching perfect, what that's looking like. Okay, pretty good. I just want it to start working again before anything interests me. Obviously, won't be doing anything now. Obviously, news pending. See if there's anything bigger there. Let's have a look. Okay, I'm just gonna hold your horses. Okay, so touch, 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 fitting quite nice, that one. We've had a break of it. First attempt, 2 legs back, 1 leg, 2 leg. Trouble is, you can adjust this a fraction, but not too much, otherwise it won't work. Let's put that right on the bottom. So that's negligible, that is. Let's have a look. Okay, let's just get rid of it for now. So we've had a leg up and a bunch of sideways. I mean, there is a possibility it may, but I'm just looking for, if it doesn't come back, if we manage to break and retest, then, you know, I'm looking for maybe something else like that. If we can get up and break and retest and start to move, that's where I'd sort of be more interested in going along. But for the time being, it's just sitting and watching, obviously, the news pending. So let's just put that there. Hey, Sam, how you doing, buddy? My channel is dead because I just have music on it. Yeah, it's because I talk, mate. That's why people are here. Not because I'm particularly good at this. It's a bit of company, mate. That's all it is. I want to have a chat with you later as well, mate, about something. I'll message you later. Are you at work today, yeah? If so, I'll message you later. Mate, work from home. All right, after the stream or later. When you, I'll know when you finish streaming. I'll message you. I'll have a quick chat with you about something. Trouble is, you can't even have interest in music really, because it's just sort of random stuff, isn't it? You can have a trading jazz channel, couldn't you? That way you get the jazz fans in. I may have a little bit of I don't know, very, very quiet Christmas background music, because I kind of like it myself, but when you're streaming, you can't listen to it unless you've got an earbud in. But I might see if I can, I don't know whether you can get it so you can play it, I don't know. See, I've got a feeling after 50 years, you can play something, because aren't the rights only owned for 50 years or something? I don't know. So if you get some old sort of maybe jazzy type, I don't know, coffee shop Christmas stuff this year, I kind of like just a little bit of I mean, obviously through the year, but at Christmas, maybe from, you know, not too early, maybe from the middle of October. I don't know, maybe the week or two, 10 days leading up to Christmas, fairy tale, you know, something like that. Yeah. In fact, I don't know about where you are, bud, but we're in October now, and I've noticed they've started to put, where I live in Shrewsbury, they've started to put the wires across the street, ready for the Christmas decks. So I don't think it'll be long. So yeah, they tend to do it quite early here. I don't know what the rest of the country's like. One of my favourite Spotify channels is Jazz in the Background, very relaxing. In fact, I'll tell you what I listen to now and again. Where is it? It's coffee. I'm not really a jazz person, to be fair. I sort of like more, I don't know, I'm listening to Coldplay a hell of a lot at the moment. But I like a bit of pop and stuff. But I tend to, let me just find it. I've been listening to What's It a lot this morning, Dire Straits and stuff like that. That's, I tend to, I would go back, but let's have a look. If I can have the music, but I'll just drag it in. That type of stuff I like, sort of coffee shop, sort of jazzy stuff. It's quite relaxing, actually, that is. But yeah, you're a blues man, Kev, are you? Yeah, I want to like blues, but for some reason, I just some things I like. I'll tell you what, I watched an old favourite film, Winter Warm already. What's it? I like Crossroads. I keep going back to that once in a while. I watch it every couple of years. You know, Crossroads, the Ralph Macchio, the guitar one, and I kind of like some of the blues stuff in there because I play a bit of guitar myself, and I kind of like the blues. But I really want to like some really sort of, you know, some Robert Johnson type blues. I don't know why, but I just I can't get into it. I wish I could. But yeah, I like a bit of all sorts. I do. But as I say, I've been listening to a lot of Coldplay lately. I just go through phases. I do where I don't listen to something for a couple of years and then go back. I had Viva La Vida blasted in the gym night before last night. What a great song that is. How the hell do you write a song like that? I'll tell you what I'm listening to as well lately. A lot Toto. Remember Toto? Africa, stuff like that. Got some brilliantly written stuff. Cutting head scene. Isn't it brilliant, absolutely brilliant bit of guitar in that is. I do like that film. So I like to watch some of the older stuff. Mind you, what is it, 90s, late 90s that? I was young back then. But yeah, it's amazing how time flies past so quick, isn't it? Yeah, I watched Crossroads about a week and a half ago, actually. But I am binge watching The Blacklist at the moment. I'm in them, just coming towards the end of season 9, I think. But I haven't watched the last 2 seasons, but I've watched the rest of them when they were sort of on TV. It may be that way. I'd like to see it push up. So if I drag this 4,000 tick chart, and I know Brant uses that sometimes, we've gone off those big swings, and look what's happened there, and look what's happening here. So there is a possibility. It does look like it's pushing up there. This is that news now, I'm assuming, isn't it? Let's have a look. Where are we? Yeah, news. And that's not massive. We have had a bit of a green spike there, but I think we're going to push up another leg. I think we've gone sideways for too long without pushing up personally. So that's quite bullish, isn't it? So I don't know. A lot these days we push up. It's almost like a bull flag. We push up, we go sideways, and then usually we end up coming out the opposite direction to where we came in. But obviously the news can obviously make a difference. Anyone watch Billions? I haven't watched Billions. It's, what's his name? The ginger-haired guy, isn't it? The British guy. I forget his name now. He was in, what was he in? He's been in a bunch of stuff, isn't he? He was in something I watched for a while. That's good, yeah. I tell you what I downloaded the other day. I'm going to watch it again. Rogue Trader. I like that film. Ewan McGregor. I like that film. I haven't seen it for a few years. I just, because you trade anyway. And there was another one I watched a couple of months ago. What was that? Another trading film. What was it called? Margin Call. Oh, that was okay. Band of Brothers. Yeah, Band of Brothers is good. That's right. He was in Band of Brothers. Of course he was. The one he was in the military. He was in the Marines, and he was found 8 years after they found him. What's his name? There was about 6 or 7 seasons of that. It'll come to me. It's bouncing off here. So let's have a look. We may get a bust out of it. Homeland, yeah, I liked Homeland. That was good. That I binge watched Homeland a few months ago. And House, I like. That's one of my favourites. Hugh Laurie. House. I got the box set of that on Blu-ray. I've had for I don't know, 7 or 8 years, but I do like him. I think he's brilliant. It's a brilliant series. Yeah, there is some good stuff on, actually. There is some good stuff. I like the TV stuff. Got a nice big screen in the living room, and nothing nicer than you put your feet down. The good thing is I used to have all the, all the sound bar and all the surround stuff and all that crap we used to spend our money on, and now you just get a good set of earbuds and connect via Bluetooth. That way you get a fantastic sound and no one else in the house knows you're there. So, okay, so maybe it is a range day. I'm hoping this breakout fails. Flawed is on YouTube. Covers the transition from pits to electronic trade. Is it really flawed? Oh, let me take a photo of that. That sounds like a watch. In fact, that first trader that I did that mentorship, he had a lot to do with that. In early 2000, he was spent 3 years in Singapore, setting him up with all the computer systems. Andrew Lockwood. Actually, we broke the range. You're looking for a short, are you? I was just wondering whether we were going to push back in. Sort of got a couple of legs there. It is stalling there, which tells me it may push back up here to retest this bottom. I never generally take a short until we've retested it and pushed down, because sometimes these range breakouts usually fail, don't they? I don't know whether it is, but I'm starting to forget about that bigger range. It's not too late, it could still push up, but okay, that news is done and dusted, isn't it? So get rid of that. Nothing really happened. You wouldn't know, would you? Okay, so that actually, let's get rid of that. I changed the, when I reloaded the data, historic data, there was a really nice bullish bar there. That looked okay. Flawed, I'll have a look at that. Flawed. Okay, so leg and a leg and a bit of sideways, so we could go up and touch, retest somewhere, and then come down some more, or we could push back in the range. I'm not sure. I wouldn't like to say. I mean, that measured legs played out, so I'd certainly like to see it at the EMA anyway. I don't think it'll push straight down from now. Well, I might be wrong. I would like to see a retest of this before I even think about going short. If it breaks, okay, I was going to say if it breaks below there, I can see that maybe pushing down. Leg down, striker once, striker twice, quite a nice bearish bar. I think that might push down from there, personally. Quite often do that. As soon as we break there, we make 2 attempts to go higher, both quite nice bearish bars. You could even call it triple test, but so you'd have got 2 points out of that, maybe not. Maybe not. 1, 2, 3. Maybe that's your triple test. I'm just not sure about this. And rightly so. Okay, so let's have a look at that. So we've had a break in a new low. I'd like just another attempt. Trouble is, there is a possibility it could push back in. That's always a possibility. We've all heard most breakouts fail. Now it's bounced multiple times there. We've had a little push out the top, so it could push back up. I don't know whether it... I don't think it will, but it could do. It's looking more like a range now. We've pushed up and we've tried a few times to go higher and we haven't. And now we're making sort of... So yeah, I can see it coming down actually. Although I'm probably going to hold off a short. In fact, I don't think that was a bad trade actually. Failed breakout, sorry. I know people that trade that. I'm pretty sure people like What's-It trade those and have some success with it. What's his name? Job. Come down, go a bit sideways, have a quick sharp push up, nice big bearish bar. I've seen him take trades like that and he seems to do well out of them. And if anybody's trading that back into the range, that's where their stop is. So if we break that stop, yeah, I can see a push down now. I can see a continuation down now. So may get another leg. Yeah, I like that. That was a nice trade, I think. It was only a first entry, unfortunately, but I still like it. You could say 1, 2, triple test, push down. Usually you can tell with these trades if it was a good place to entry by how many other traders get in, and judging by that, there's been some selling there, so... So possibly something like that. Let's have a look. Okay, so yeah, it could be a range day. Or it may just come back 50% the way from top to bottom nearly. Oh yeah. To this midline, we'll see. But yeah, I like that. You see these new types of setups, don't you? And I'm trying to pay more attention to them. A little bit of sideways, quick spike up. See, you're pretty sure there'll be some longs there as that goes up and then comes out and takes their stops. But you could just trade that as a failed break out of this. Okay, another push up here would be nice. Okay, so let's get a short ready just in case.
Order submitted.
I'd like to see that hit the bottom of that. That's better. Now drop. Maybe a spike in a channel. I'll go with that. Let's have a look.
Order cancelled.
It's getting a bit wicky now, isn't it? There's a failed second entry short there, which is triggered. Trouble is, you could go short there, but if that comes down to there, it's going to show another big wick. So we got wick, wick, wick. I'm not sure about that. Let me just get this. Actually, quick on the just here, Brant. There's a possible nice looking second entry short there on the 4,000 tick chart, depending on how that feels. But I do think we're coming down now. Let's just give that a go again. That's a possibility. Touch, just not found the bottom. Could be a bit of an overshoot, say. See if you'd have had that like that. See, it's bounced more or less off that 50% off, isn't it? Where's the 50% off? Yeah, it's hit that 50%, so... Yeah, it's possible. It's come down quite a bit, in all fairness, to go back into the range for me. But... let me get rid of that a minute. It's broken out, isn't it? It's tried once, come back, tried a second time. Maybe it's going to drop from here, who knows? Let's just put that there, see what happens. That's a possibility. We'll see. See if it pushes back up. Let's go from that one there. Does look like it's coming down. It's made an attempt to go higher and failed. It's made another attempt to go higher and dropped quite strongly. So I'd say that might be it for trying to push in there. Okay, one attempt to push up. If we can get another one, I may be interested in going short there. Or the market might have other ideas, I don't know. Waiting for a triple test. Okay, so that one's triggered. It's not the most bearish of bars. It's not terribly, but the EMA's flat, so that's triggered. I'd like another go. Okay, high-low there. Really strong bar there. That's interesting. That's really quite bullish, that is. Not sure about that because it sort of fitted there, and then I dragged it a bit more, and it fitted there, and you know, when is it an overshoot? So we've got a leg up, we've got a break, made 1-2 attempts to go higher. Quite nice. I'd like to see that trigger really, and then maybe come down. So it's hard to say what's going on at the moment. Excuse me. Okay, second entry short. I'd like to see a lower high here, then maybe be interested, but I'm not sure with that big strong bar. Like to see the failure trigger. Okay, there's the possible failed second entry short. Let's see what happens there. It may try and push back in. It looks like it's trying. So we've got a new low there. Try go once or twice failure. Let's see if that triggers. Put it this way, if it drops below there, I can see then us having a decent push down there. So I'd like to see a failed second entry short there. No. See if we can get a lower high. If that breaks below there, I can see us coming down because I'd be surprised if people don't buy that back into the range. Okay. If we can get a pullback here, I may be interested in there. Nice bearish bar there, but I don't know. It's a bit risky for me. It's 17 ticks that. Tick below, tick above, tick below. That's 35 bloody points. I mean, it is bearish. I'd say it's probably likely to pull down, but it goes right into that middle line, which puts me off. Yeah, so tick below, it's 4 3/4 points. Something that bearish, I'd say it's probably going to come down, but it's just too rich for my blood. Yeah, it's a little bit uncertain. It do seem to be working down in that channel. It visually looks all right, but it does just seem like maybe the start of a range there, I think. News in 5. What news is this? I think it's what's it news, isn't it? Maybe medium impact or low impact. Doesn't tend to play. I don't really generally have it on. I know Mac. I don't think Mac has it on. I know people like Marco and Daniel, I don't think they do. Sometimes I've had the medium impact news, but I've never known it to play a part, in all honesty. Petroleum, yeah. Just all news. No, I don't. Yeah. To be honest with you, the medium, I don't think I've ever known the medium impact news to actually do anything. Bunch of random Fed nobody's. There you go. On the econ. I've got nothing on my chart, mate. I don't know. What time did I say it was? 5 minutes. So, okay, half past. We'll see. See what happens. If it doesn't do anything, Artie, we're gonna write your name up here and call you a loser. And if it does, we're gonna bounty you, mate. No, I don't know. To be fair, I don't tend to keep up too much with the news. I usually just use what's on my chart. It's a bit ignorant of me, I suppose, but I don't know. What's crypto doing? It is slowly going down, but I don't like it when it does this. It goes down sidewaysy, doesn't it? They get a bit of a push, bit of sideways, bit of a push, bit of sideways, bit of a push. I'm just wondering, after that push, are we going to be a bit sideways here? Because we do, don't we? Push, sideways, push, sideways. I consider that sideways until this push. It'd be nice to have a leg and maybe come close to this area, but leg and a leg would be nice. We are going down, but yeah, you're not wrong, mate. See what goes on here. Leg and leg. I'd like another leg up there. Leg and leg. Don't come down yet. Don't come down. We're not ready for you. I think we're past that, aren't we? Or are we? Did I have it added up? I think it was around about here, I think, wasn't it? Let me have a look. Yeah, we're a bit past it really, but we could bounce and bounce. We tend to push through it. We came back and we continued down, so we're past it. So who knows? You just don't know really, do you? Could continue down. I was hoping there was a lower high there, but the bar was a bit naff. I was hoping we're going to get got 1, 2, 3, maybe another little leg up to here, and then an opportunity. But it is starting to look quite bearish, isn't it? Excuse me a second. Okay. Let's see what Uncle Max give us. See if he's got us. Not yet. No, nothing yet. Oh, strong push up. See what happens here. That's quite a push, that is. Interesting, it's hit the line. So let's see. You reckon that's the nose, do you? You can get a lower high below there. I like the way it's... Alright, I've just adjusted my line ever so slightly, which is fine. I'm not so sure about that, because we've had bars like that before, haven't we? So I don't know. I think it was just we were sort of coming to a bottom here, weren't we? And then a push up. It didn't, news, usually you get that quite a spiky thing. So it's possible, but I've got nothing on my charts. Where the hell? Got nothing on my chart, so I don't know. Yeah, to me it just looks like a push up. That, to be fair, like we had a push down. I don't know. I wouldn't have said so personally, but I don't know. Yeah, it could be. It could be. So that's a leg up. Second entry long, that is. Can't go long for me because we're clearly working down at the moment. I'm not saying it's not going to work, but okay. Measured move down. Yeah, it could be that. It may be the news. I don't know. There's nothing I'm aware of that we usually do this, to be fair. And news tend to get very spiky and shaky, don't we? Quickly. Whereas that looked like quite a smooth move up. And it just looks like a couple of legs. So anything down here, really? There's a little bit of resistance down there. I don't know. It could be a bunch of stuff, really, couldn't it? Okay, so we've hit this line, and I like where we've sat, so that looks like a measured move, or near as, damn it, doesn't it? It may be a bit more than that now. Okay, so there's a leg and leg. Yeah, it's looking quite positive, isn't it? Trouble is, I wouldn't be buying here. It's not the ideal place to buy, is it, really, there? You'd want to retest this now before you bought again, wouldn't you? But leg and a leg. It's a little bit more than a measured leg, but who knows? Okay, excuse me, just 1 minute. I'm just going to take a quick bathroom break. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, what's going on here? This is not supposed to happen. Was there some sort of a measured leg down there? Not there. We are back in the range, yeah. Okay, let's have a look. I wouldn't go long here anyway if I wanted to. It's just too far from the EMA, really. Okay, so there's obviously the possibility that we may start to go back up. That's always a possibility. Let's have a look. Perhaps we did have a good push down to, what was it, about 60, 61, what is it, 61.1, something like that. Let's have a look. Yeah, it probably is about the 60, isn't it? It must be. Let's try it from the top. No, we're doing. Yes, yeah, that's what I was thinking of, the 61.8. So yeah, it is around the 60, isn't it? Something like that, and it's pushed up. So perhaps it is silly the news, perhaps it isn't. It's hard to say. But obviously markets can just do that. It doesn't necessarily mean it's the news. Perhaps it was just destined to do that at that level. Perhaps people came in and bought at that level. It's hard to say, really, isn't it? It didn't act like the news. It just pushed up. Obviously, when you have news, well, my experience at news, sometimes you get that quick up and down type thing, and it just made out normal bars. But obviously, we do this all day long, don't we? We had the same sort of thing there. We had big bars, all of a sudden, same there. So, I don't know, maybe. Okay, so let's have a look. Okay, I'm not thinking about going long. Not there anyway. I'm not saying it's not going to work, but I'm just not sure about this now. Excellent. Let's see what Mac makes of this. Okay. Continuation. Sometimes I just got no idea how Mac works his charts out. I really don't. Let me have a look. Mac's got this chart there, from there to there. And then, yeah, it's just unusual, isn't it, that? So let's put that there. He's got his from there to there. Yeah, it just looks a bit unusual. He's got that bit sticking out, that bit and that bit. It just looks a bit unusual to me, but who am I to say is wrong? He's got that the same. And he's finished up here, so okay, so that's close enough anyway. I mean, it's by the by anyway, this, but it just does look a bit unusual, doesn't it? You can make it look, it's not the, well, I don't know, am I to argue? You just got to do what you think, haven't you? But, okay, so maybe this turns into a spiking channel, I don't know. I'm not sure at the moment, it's a bit too early that, but I have a feeling this is looking quite bullish all of a sudden. Let's get rid of it. Okay, it does look like a channel, but I've just tried another chart. Let's just go with that. It just looks like a channel break with a new high. You might not even call that a channel. It's supposed to click 3 times, isn't it? But who knows? Anyway, even if it is, we've had a break and a new high. So what are we doing now, folks? Yeah, it does. Yeah, we still had a break and a new high. It just looks a bit odd. Sometimes I don't know what I don't know sometimes whether he just rushes the thing. For now, did I have it there? Didn't it? Something like that. Oh, bollocks! Get away. Yeah, so that looks. I don't know. Anyway, you got to do what looks right, haven't you? That just looks, well, like it fits better to me, but oh well. It's by the by. Okay, so we've come down. We've had a little break out of this, made a new high, couple of legs back. Are we going to bounce it and continue up? It's possible. There may be. We may end up pushing up. I don't know. We could end up having something like that. 1, 2. I'd say, you might say that. 1, 2, 3 touches, I don't know. I'm not a fan of picking these bottoms, so I'm not even going to try. Strange. Very strange. Leg down, leg down. Who knows? I don't know, just a random pick. It's just the way it's pushed up and a new high and come back down. I don't know whether it's just, I don't know what the bloody hell it's doing, to be fair. That doesn't seem right, so let's get rid of it. Okay, so we got this channel looks okay. We got a touch here, we touched here, we touched here, we touched here. It visually looks okay, so perhaps this is just a break. Maybe a chance to push higher, and maybe we're going to come down and make a new low. So maybe if we can get a couple of legs up here now, I'll be interested in taking that. Channel down, 2 pushes up, and I'll be good for another leg down to break these. Well, to break these lows. It's come down too far for an uptrend anyway. That's not going to work, I don't think. Just wondering if there's sort of like a bigger range running from this area here, just in this top section. It's hard to say, isn't it? Could be, or it might not be. Couple of pushes up. I took a bit chickened out there, mate. Trouble is, at the end of the day, you never quite know, see, so sometimes chickening out's a good thing. It might save your bacon, but you just never really know, do you? Excuse me a sec. Okay, so let's have a little look. What's going on here? Let's have a look. Let's have a look. We got a channel which has played out, but I don't know. Yeah, it's a bit. We have this conversation every day, don't we? Sometimes the market's really predictable. At the moment, it's a little bit. I didn't quite expect that, and then that. Maybe it's a channel with just a break, and they've tried to push it, and maybe we are coming down. It would make sense to come back down here. There's no reason why we'd finish down here, so I don't know. Maybe if we can get something interesting. I've just put that there, just out of a lot of times it will go off those first two swings. So. Be nice to get a leg and a leg. Nice to get that. Nice to get a push up, then maybe a lower high. So we got to come down. We've had one push up, another push up here, just above this would be nice, and then a bearish bar. I'll go short there. Don't come down yet. I'm not ready for you. So we've got one leg up and a break. Not yet, not yet. You seem to be pushing down all of a sudden. You seem to get some buyers coming in quickly and pushing it back up. Seem to be protecting that, maybe that bar there. As it's coming down, it's pushing again, it's coming down, it's pushing again. No, it's just losing it now. Once we get below there, I can't see it holding. I think we could have a leg and a leg. Take us down to here. No, it's just going to drop in a minute, I think. It's trying to keep it up, but it's not. Okay, leg. One more little pullback. Come on, give us a lower high or something. Nah, it's going to fall out. I can see it coming. Come on, one more bar. Yeah, we're coming down. Okay, tick above that. Come on. It is frustrating when you say that. And I'm pretty confident we're coming at least down here somewhere. But there's no entry. But it is continuously trying, so sometimes it'll do that. It'll just seem to get in longs, and then all of a sudden down it'll fly. Tick above there. Come on. Tick above there. Okay, now let's see what happens.
Order submitted.
No, I'm not sure.
Order canceled.
No, I'm a bit lost here. I'd say for me, I'd say we got a leg and another leg, but I don't know what's going on here. It's probably going sideways. 1 minute it's struggling to push up. Next minute, it's going a bit sideways. If I had to put money on it, I'd say it's coming down for sure, but not prepared to put a trade on it. I wonder if this is it. Yeah, I'm confused. Yeah, I mean, we push down, try to go once, try to go twice. Could call that a triple test if it ends up closing outside this. Nice and bearish, we'll see. Okay, I think this is looking quite bearish. I'm just having a quick look at the 10,000 tick chart. We seem to have this leg down. We made 2 attempts to go. It's just a bit unclear at the moment. It looks like a leg down, 1 push up, a second push up, and then maybe a continuation there. I don't know. It's just not very clear at the moment. Or it could be continuing higher. I've got a clue. Prices at the midpoint or 50% of your grey shaded area. Yeah, we've already been down here once before and we pushed up, so it's just hard to say. So I think it's possible. Maybe a push up. Yeah, it can go either way. 1 minute it looks like we're going to get a drop. Next minute it looks the complete opposite. It is a bit choppy, I've got to say, isn't it? There's quite a lot of you can see it, can't you? It's pretty choppy right the way along there, isn't it? When we had to push down, a bit more chop, a little bit around here. You can't trade this really. You've got to wait for it to move and obviously hope you're in the right direction. Okay, so second entry short if this triggers. It might be a failure. Yeah, you're not wrong, mate. Okay, so there is a second entry short there which is triggered. So there might be a trap there.
Order submitted.
So there's a failure. It's a bit far away from the EMA, but it fits nicely within the channel. Oh, what am I doing, you dumbass? Whoa, I was a bit too premature there. It's a massive bar. Too rich for my blood.
Order cancelled.
So tick below, tick above, 3.5 points. Nah. It does look like it's pushing up. It's probably not a bad place to get. You know, there is a failure there. Triangle once, triangle twice. Second entry short, which is triggered. It's probably going to work, but it is a big bar. I don't want to risk 350. Let's have a look. That's where I'd have got out there on that. It may sit in there. It may push up, but 3.5 points is a bit too much risk for me because it could come up and it could come down. It's very much up, down, up, down. But it's quite a nice bullish bar. It has dropped down and it has trapped them shorts, but it's just a bit risky, I think. I would say it's probably likely to make a couple of points, but it is fitting quite nice in there. Could take it on a limit order back here a bit. So that was a possibility. Yeah, I'd say that's pretty sure going to make. It's clearly working in here. It's going to make. Yeah, there's 2 points there. That's ticked above it. Yeah, so it made 2 points anyway. I did drop an order in, but it kicked me out. But the only thing that makes me nervous about these is being so far from the EMA, but I've heard Max say multiple times it's more important that it's working with the channel. And in all fairness, it's clearly pushing up there. You took it, wished it went for a couple more ticks. Yeah, I was just... it was quite high compared to that, wasn't it? So... but it's just one of those things, isn't it? It's clearly worked. It was a failure. I like the fact that it trapped that. Maybe some people short in this range a bit. I don't know. See, I'm on a PA now, so I'm a little bit more cautious. I'm only looking for a trade a day. 2 if I can get it, great. But I think part of the reason why I left it is market is a little bit unpredictable today. We had this channel down with a break. I expected a new low. You just don't know what that's going to do. So it does make you a bit nervous sometimes with your trades. But it was a failure, and it did. There may have been some shorts there trying to maybe fade this range. I don't know. But it did trigger. I mean, if that would have come down a little bit lower, yeah, I may have taken it as a limit order, a little bit lower, a little bit less risk, but it's 3.5 points, so it's a bit more than I want to risk. Excuse me. What is going on with this market? Let's bring in a 10,000 tick chart just a second. It's just a little bit unclear, isn't it, what's going on, really? There's no real structure to it. We had the push up and we started to work down, then we've had a couple of other pushes up, so it's hard to say what's going to happen. Maybe it's had a leg and bigger picture, a couple of legs and maybe another push up. I don't know, but it's not the easiest of days, I've got to say. And when there are days like this, it does make me a little bit nervous about getting into a trade. I've just started with my one of the PA accounts this morning, see, so it's always nice to start with a green day, I think. So I just maybe want to find someone just a little bit clearer. I mean, I could read what was going on there, but it's down, it's up, it's a bit unpredictable. Oh. But it did start to work nice. Sometimes, really, it's quite common, isn't it, when you've had some lost P accounts to get a little bit overcautious. I always say I'd rather be a little bit overcautious than careless. But sometimes when you see trades, you've just got to take them. Now, Mac will more likely mark that as a high probability trade. And you might get 3 or 4 of the other guys in the Facebook group that take that, and then you'll be asking yourself, why the hell didn't I take it? But the trouble is, when you've just come back from a few failed PAs, it does make that a little bit too cautious, I think. But yeah, that's okay. It's all part of the journey. It's not black and white. There's a lot of different levels to this journey, and it's probably a level that I'm going through now, being a little bit extra cautious. But it's okay. As I say, I'd rather be a bit extra cautious than a bit too, than careless. So I don't mind letting these things go. It happens. Might we actually get a break? 2 legs steam, a nice setup. Well, it's possible. That's quite a nice little start, isn't it? We'll have a tick lower than that if I don't mind. Or even a hidden second entry. That doesn't matter. You made 2 little red bars. No come back down. So many times now, see, it doesn't come back. But the trouble is, we have bounced on this bottom, but I would still expect that to push up if we had a second entry. It fits nice. There's no argument about that channel. It clearly fits nice, and it's fitting nicely in there. So. Yeah, that's the frustrating thing as it comes down. Trouble is, if you take that, it'll trigger you and stop you out. So you can't take it really, can you? You just can't. It's just a first entry. It is unfortunate, but so many times now it does that rather than making 2 legs down. So I don't know if it keeps doing that. We may be forced at some point to start maybe adjusting our expectations of that. Exactly. It's almost like they've updated the algorithms on the ES, and it's almost like they're making it. Well, I suppose it goes without saying. It's almost like they're making it more and more difficult every time they get an update. I so want to go long here. But the trouble is, I've just flicked over to the 1,000 tick chart, and that kind of fits really nice in there. And we've had a touch here, so we've had a failure there. You may have even said it's kind of 2 legs back, but look, it definitely looks like it's working higher there, doesn't it, on the 1,000? And look at that, then it goes and just pisses you off and does that. But it is frustrating. We pretty much know where it's going, don't we? But at the end of the day, if you took a trade there and it triggered you and stopped you out, you'd only have yourself to blame, really, wouldn't you? But I don't know. Maybe 8 times out of 10, it's going to push up for 4 or 5 points. In which case, when you start saying, "Okay, I either keep missing these trades, or I might take a punt," you know what I mean? But I'm at the level at the moment where I've just got to wait. I don't really want to take a risky setup. I'd rather have a higher win rate and take a couple of less trades. I think you're probably best off. Yeah, it's a shame, isn't it? But what can you do? See, you know, from our point of view, it's not a setup, but somebody bought there because the market pushed up. It's gone up, what, about another 8 points, 7 points? So someone's moved that up. And I'm guessing, experienced traders, certainly, because, most inexperienced traders like us guys, even though we're maybe on a PA account, we're still on a demo. So it's only people with genuine money that push markets up like that, really. So what do you do? Penguin Trader doesn't trade live in his Discord with his members. No, he doesn't, mate. No, he doesn't. I wish he would. There's not many people trade live, in all fairness. Not many at all. It's definitely a bit choppy today. I'll say that for certain. We've had sort of clearer days. Yesterday was a bit nicer. Nice little downtrend there. Certainly some entries. You may have taken that one. I know you may have taken that. There was a second entry there. I'd have probably taken that one. And here, maybe. But it was a nicer day, wasn't it? Especially when you get these nice moves. Look at that. Nicely back to the EMA. Not the best bar, but same again. We got this leg down. 1, 2 legs up. I took that trade. Nice leg down, 2 attempts to go higher, nice bearish bar, and down we came. So yesterday was a pretty good day in all fairness. I think I took about 4 trades, I think. But today, nothing as yet. Trouble is, it's okay to say, we should have taken that one. What can you do? What can you do? So maybe there's something larger working up here. That kind of works for me. So let's have a look. So there is a possibility now. We've come up and we've had a push down. See, it looks like we've had that nice trend over there. We've got a bit sideways. We've had maybe a couple of legs down. We've made one attempt to go higher. We've come down. We've had a break and we've bounced a bunch of times. So perhaps now we may get up. So I wouldn't be shocked if we ended up getting up so far and then you know, maybe having something like that. I'd like to see a break. It probably will break before it gets to that top. I don't know, but I'd like to see a break and then maybe another leg. So perhaps we are going to get a leg and a leg, but who knows? That's just but yeah, look at that. Look, see, God, if we only knew. Look at that. See, you just don't know. See, sometimes. What did that got for? Oh, look at that, 12 points. It is frustrating, really, isn't it? When you see a trade and you get out for a measly 1.5 and it goes up another 11 points. It's bloody frustrating. But that's, what can you do? Trouble is, if you hold on to it, it may come down and take you out. You just don't know. And that's part of the, well, I wouldn't say part of the fun of trading. I suppose it's part of the, it is what it is, isn't it? You just have to go with it. But it does make you, does give you a wry smile, doesn't it? But it's clearly working up there. It is choppy and it's hard to know. You start going up, you just don't know what it's going to do in all fairness. But I suppose with time and spending year after year sat in front of these markets, maybe, you know, maybe you will hold that. Maybe you got a better idea of what's going on. But I just think you get better and better at reading these markets every sort of year you sit at them, or every month you sit at them. I certainly are better at, you know, working out what's going on nowadays. Obviously, we get days where it's unpredictable, but I can feel that, you know, with my trading now, the way I think it's going to do something, it does. You know, I can see that as my experience is starting to grow, so is my confidence levels of understanding the price and where it's going, and that at some point in the future I'm going to be taking trades that might not follow the rules. And I'm pretty sure that's why Mac doesn't show us his trades. But as you sit, you can't help but get more experienced at reading these markets. If you sit here 4 hours, it's 20 hours a week. You do that for a bunch of years, you're going to be, you know, you're going to have a pretty good idea of what's going on. Okay, so this was the break I expected before we hit those highs. So let's see if we end up getting a leg, and then a leg, and then maybe we may end up getting something like that first initial push-up. It's possible. But it is a real journey, this. I never really understood the meaning of the word journey until I learned to trade. And it's a career path that is a real, you know, it's a real, I heard Max saying this is a proper skill like being a doctor, and I'm thinking, bullshit, how can it be like being a doctor? We're talking about 7 years, but every sort of, you know, week and month I get into trading, the more I think he's bang on right. It is one of those, it's almost like an art which, you know, you work on and develop. But he talks a lot, Mac, about an instrument, and it's right. You know, a lot of people can play an instrument, but could you play it to a level where you go and play in a band at night or you know, or something like that? But you've got to be able to learn this, not till you can make a little bit of money in there, till you can go out every single day and perform, you know, and make money. And it is like it's a real skill with a bit of art included. But, you know, it is a real skill. And the more you get into it, the more you realise how right Mac is. So I'd like to get a push up now and then maybe a higher low. So we got a leg. Because I'd say for me, this is pushing up. Unfortunately, There's the second entry. That hasn't triggered below. So for me, I'd want a higher low before I think about going up to these tops. I think you're onto something about why Mac does it. It makes perfect sense to me. When Mac teaches something, he has to have a format. When you teach, it's like school. You go to school or university or whatever. They don't just randomly, teacher doesn't turn up. No, it's all pre-planned. The lesson is all pre-planned, whether it comes out of a textbook. But it's like anything. As you get better and better at it, you develop. We're learning these new ways of reading the market and what the market's doing. So Mac has to teach us a certain way. But if all of a sudden he starts showing us, well, I took that trade, you'll be going, well, hold on a minute, that's completely out of the rules. I can't see. Larger channel working. Yeah, I thought there might be. I'd like a higher low here before I go. But it makes perfect sense. If he started coming on and you know, maybe taking a short here, we'd be going, hold on, what are you doing? But he has to teach us some way. And then obviously the rest, you know, you develop in, you know, through time and experience. And I kind of like that because you almost get a bit of freedom, don't you? Okay, I want to come back here a little bit further, really. I'm not a fan of taking a higher low that far away from the EMA, but we've had a break. But yeah, the trouble is you may get a leg and it may trigger, you may get another leg. And I think it's quite likely we're going to get a bigger channel there, but you just don't know whether it's going to trigger you here and then come down, and that channel's going to end up, you know, maybe doing something like that. That's the problem. It's too risky to go long there. Not that the bar's great anyway. I'm not saying it won't work, but there's definitely a risk involved in that for sure. Because it really is one leg, isn't it? But you just don't know. It may just tank up. It's just one of those things. But the bar's not terrible. It's certainly more airs on the side of bullish, and it is a failure. But I'd want to come back a bit closer really before I take that, because if I took that, I'd kick myself. It took 7 years here to get consistent and profitable. You've been doing it 7 years, have you? And 3 years of profit. Still don't have back my losses yet. Yeah, a couple of people have said to me, you know, when you've made it as a trader, when you've got back everything you invested into it. Yeah, I'm well on my way, maybe $10,000 away yet, something like that. Do you personally know any successful traders who are using Mac? Yeah, I do, mate. I know Daniel makes a lot of money. He makes a lot of money, Daniel. I've heard one or two rumours. I know he told me when I first started this, maybe, well, no, about a year and a half ago. We were in a conversation with someone and someone was saying this, and Daniel went, I made $400,000 last year, and that was about a year and a half ago. So, yeah, they are out there, mate. You probably don't speak to a lot because most people who are making good money and they're on their way probably won't spend as much time, you know, chatting with other traders. They've probably got their head down. Excuse me a sec. Yeah, so, I mean, if you're a successful trader making money, most of us that are hanging around these streaming sites and the Facebook groups are in the process of sort of learning and starting to get a little bit of consistency. And when you do start to make money, you probably, you know, veer away from. But yeah, Thomas Wade makes money for sure, doesn't he? I don't doubt that at all. I'd say Penguin certainly does. But most people, I would say, Daniel doesn't hang around the Facebook group as much as he used to because you just naturally drift away. I think, you know, the more it turns into, rather than a learning and a journey where you need some help and support and some buddies to chat to, when it turns into more of just a job, a day-to-day job, my guess is you feather away. 10 years every day trading, 25 years off and on trading. Yeah. It's certainly a tough job, that's for certain. But I've always been a believer, if you want something bad enough, you'll get it. I've got most things I've wanted within reason. Because I've got a lot of, I wouldn't say drive and commitment. If there's something I want, I'll work hard for it. If there's something I've got to do, but I'm not interested in it, I struggle. I'd like to see a second entry short off here. I thought Mac is a refined version of Brooks. I believe you're right, mate. I believe you're right. But as Mac's developed over the years, he'll naturally... It's like having lots of little tiny notches on your belt, isn't it? Every time you learn something and you've got hundreds of thousands of little notches, you can't teach it. You can pick a few of these notches, the obvious ones, and teach that, and the rest of it you've got to learn yourself over the years. And that's why I think Mac's right when he goes on, you look at musicians or doctors or something like that. When you first come out of, I'm not talking out of experience, when you first come out of medical school, you're still a newbie, aren't you? But obviously over the years, you develop and get better at it, and, you move up the ladder. So, got to be a bit careful going long here. I've been trapped going long here before. You're thinking, I've got to go long. And then all of a sudden, wham, down it comes. So I'm being extra cautious. The more it tries to go higher, I think that sometimes then it'll end up dropping and trapping a bunch of traders. Puts trays, 10 more pounds, yeah. I'd say there's a lot out there, Ryan. You probably don't know them because they've left the fold, but you think how many thousands of traders, Max, that come through Mac's system. Yeah, I mean, they say there's about, 95% loss rate, but there'll be loads of traders that'll come after us and been before us, and when you start to make money, you're off enjoying your life. You're probably not sat there on someone's stream chatting away, are you? So, and I don't mind that disrespectful for you guys, but you guys are in the same boat as me. We're plugging away, improving and slowly getting better and making mistakes and learning. But I'd say for sure, yeah, people who are making money are off doing their thing, aren't they? They get in there, get the trading done, and they're off enjoying their life. But yeah, there's a lot of people out there making money. There is. Don't think you're never going to make it. And it's impossible. It's not impossible. It just takes time, and you've just, got to keep coming, and you've just got to be committed. I wouldn't still be here now nearly 3 years later if I didn't think I could do it, or if I didn't think there was money to be made in it. Because I know, I've been trading long enough to know when my patience is bang on and I sit and wait for trades, I win way more than I lose. As far as I'm concerned, I can see the profit to be made, and I can see a career in it for me. I've come far enough now to know that when I get my head straight and I take my time, I can win way more than I lose, and that for me is a ticket on the roller coaster. Although it's a long queue to get on it, put it that way. Let me say. Extra evidences, yeah. There will be people out there, mate. I don't doubt it for a second. But yeah, I know what you're saying. You do ask yourself the question many times when you learn to trade, am I ever going to be able to do this? Because unfortunately, the learning is fraught with it's very few things I've come across in my 53 years that there are so many failures in learning. Most other things I've learned have been nowhere near as difficult as this. There's so many kick in the faces, put it that way. And it's understandable to question, is there really people that do this? Am I really going to be able to do this? But yeah, absolutely there is. For sure there is. You've just got to be one of those ones that just stick it out and keep trying. It is looking like it's pushing up, but I'm being a bit cautious here because it tried to get up a lot of times, and sometimes I've seen it do this. It'll come back and trigger some longs, and all of a sudden, wham. So I'm not in the market for a long just yet because I think it could quite well come the other way. I've withdrew payments of $10,000, 2,000. Sorry, a sec. Excuse me a sec. Sorry about that. I've had $4,000 and 3 lots of $2,000 payments. so far this year. And in all fairness, I could have had another 4,000, but I decided to wait and I end up blowing the account. So I have made money this year, so I am beginning to see that you can make money out of it. But the trouble is, and I've been told this a lot of times, people just risk too much. And if you risk too much, you can feel that pressure. And when I had those 4 accounts, because I gave up work in December, I was around about $300 or $400 away of hitting that 2,600 mark. Now, if I could have continued to build that up to Christmas, maybe 5, 6, 7,000, I was looking forward to withdrawing $8,000 for Christmas, which would have made for a nice Christmas. But I felt that pressure, and the reason was I was just trading too much risk, and because I was relying on the money because I'd taken some time off work. But yeah, if you've been trading for 10 years, I'd expect you to be making money, mate. So yeah, that's it. Yeah, once you start to make some money, you start to think, hey, I can start to see light at the end of the tunnel is probably the word I'm looking for. So there is a nice big bullish bar there, but I think that's risky myself. Yeah, absolutely. I've made money at it, but I've also failed some accounts as well. But because I probably put a bit too much pressure on myself. But you can do it, and it can be done. But you need to keep working on patience. And the psychological side needs continuous work to get used to what it feels like. But I can see light at the end of the tunnel. I know now I can make money, but I still have these little faults where I keep falling on my face. But I think every time you get pain from losing PA accounts, I think you come back a bit stronger. So are we going to push up here? It looks like we are. I was a bit unsure about that because I've got into trades like that before and it triggers longs here, and all of a sudden, wham, because it has made multiple attempts to go higher and it was still not there yet. If we get above here, then I could see us. Yeah, you're right. Most systems works. Any strategy, there's millions of strategies out there. And if you use a tried and tested one, most of them work. And most people, experienced traders, will tell you it's never the strategy that's the problem, it's you. And the trouble is, you struggle a little bit and you start looking for someone else. And I've been guilty of that myself lately. I started thinking about the Penguin guy. And after a few days trading it, I thought, what am I doing? I feel like I'm learning it all over again. The strategy is not the problem, it's me. So, and you learn something, and it is. You ever tried braking a car with the opposite foot? It's near bloody impossible. Because your right foot, I don't know how you drive, we use your right foot's the brake over in the UK. You try it, just if you've never done it, try braking with your left leg. It's fucking near damn impossible. But it's because your right leg has been finely tuned over those years of driving. And that's the same thing. Your brain is constantly getting finely tuned with all this bits of information. It's getting in your brain, and it just makes you get better and better. You take better setups. And as you take better setups and your skill develops, so will your confidence. We've all heard the saying, with skill comes confidence. The better you get at something, you'll just start to believe, hold on a minute now, I'm getting to the level now where I can make this work. And then, like what's it said, what's the trader guy who wrote the book? He said, when you can do it, trading becomes easy. But it's that process to get your brain to work and think like a trader. Trade in the zone. If you've not listened to that, watch the videos, because he does say when you can do it, trading is easy. And really, it is easy. You just sit here, wait for a setup. But it's the psychological side that makes it difficult. So every time we take a trade and you have a win and a loss, that psychological side gets worked, and sooner or later it starts to, just give up and mold to doing what you expect of it. Yeah, they are out there. Probably because we don't talk to a lot, because most of them, when they start to make money, just disappear, don't they? We're all here because we're all learning. When you're starting to make consistent money, people disappear. They trade on their own and they just get on with their life. It's like Daniel. He spent less and less time over the last 18 months on the Facebook group. Just once in a while, he'll pop back in just to say hello. But then he's off making money and doing his thing. Yeah, see, we are struggling to get up here. And this, when it's doing this is the time I'm extra cautious about going long, because I wouldn't be shocked if we had a nice bull bar there, it triggered, came down, took out that stop. This isn't the market I want to get into long. Let's have a look at that, see what happens now. Yeah, so if you had a long stop there, your stop might be, if you had a long there, your stop might be there. That's just come down there, and I see it all the time. And the good thing is it stops me getting into trades. Yeah, I'm not thinking about going long here at all now. It's definitely a choppy day, isn't it? It's one of those days where it's just, I like coming in and watch Lance's journey. I appreciate that, mate. But all I am is just a visual version of yourself. I have the same ups and downs. I mean, you guys see me at my lowest, and you've seen me where I've had some withdrawals. So, but it is nice to share it with other people, because, you know, someone may have be, you know, a few steps ahead of you, and you know, you sort of you pass it on a bit, don't you? You know, people help you. I mean, I have people message me now and again saying I've blown accounts. And first thing I tell them, don't beat yourself up. I know exactly how you feel. It's all part of the journey. Don't, you know, take some time, take some breaths, and come back. And that's basically the same thing people have told me, and it does work. I like watching myself. Yeah, see, you can. Excuse me. You can just download OBS for free and record your own trades if you want, and just have a look. You know, see what you maybe chat to yourself and talk through it. And because I like the fact that I can go back. I also like the fact that if anything ever goes wrong with my accounts, I can say to Apex, right, I've got it on video. It's always good to have it proof. Oh, you're very kind, Ryan. You're very kind. I don't think many traders make a fortune out of this, but I think if you stick at it, I'd certainly expect to earn 3 to 5 times more than the average other person doing a day job and work about half of the amount of hours. I could see myself earning $20,000 a month on this. I could do. It's only $2,000 from 10 accounts. And if you can do that, then you can build up to 15 or 20 accounts, and I can see that happening. I can visualize my first $10,000. I can. Absolutely. If you can make money out of this, if you're making $75,000 out of trading, you think about it, you're stuck in a room in your house on a computer. You've got no overheads. You've got no business expenses, really. Any fees come out of the money automatically. It's an easy business to run. There's not many businesses that's easy to run. You don't need vans, vehicles, you know, offices, building material. You need none of that. And what do we work on average? I trade a maximum of about 4 hours a day, including looking at other people's charts and that later. How many jobs? Because you earn even $75,000 a year working 20 hours a week maximum. And if you can earn that money, in my opinion, you could earn more. Oh Christ, yeah, a business doesn't get any easier, does it? Okay, you don't need accountants. I had a business about 10 years ago. You don't need accountants. All you basically do, the only overheads you've got really is maybe upgrading any computer equipment You can put down a fraction for your internet, maybe your phone bill, and then what else? A fraction, maybe a little bit of heating, gas, electric for one room of your house. You can do that yourself. It's a doddle. It's probably one of the easiest businesses to run with the lowest overheads. I mean, who hasn't got an internet connection and a computer nowadays? Very few people. Well, it's part of the reason why I started using this Trader Sync, because I couldn't tell you what my win rate is. I couldn't tell you what my equity curve looks like. So I want to. That's why I've incorporated this trading journal. So at the end of the day, I can drag everything over from my and I want a picture of what my success or failure looks like. I want to see. Getting my fibre. Good for you, mate. Best thing I did. I had a couple of problems with it for the first week, but it's gone down. But at the moment, and I stream. I bet, mate, you stream. Let me look at stream settings. I bet you stream on either normal latency, don't you? I stream ultra low now, which is super quick. But if let me just do a speed test. Let me just do an internet speed test quickly. I'll tell you what my internet is at the moment. And bearing in mind, this is the middle of the day in the UK. Now, my internet speed used to average about 45 megabits of upload speed and about of download speed and about 11 megabits of upload speed. So straight away, my upload speed is over 900 megabits per second download. This was my upload. It was always around about 11 megabits upload speed. 11. Well, look at that. That enables me. We had a big strong push out. Yeah, so that's up to nearly 900. That's what it should be, 900. But look at that. Unbelievable. It's so much quicker. I use, because I'm in the UK, I use something called Fibre Heroes. I didn't expect that push up. Fibre Heroes I use, they're called, or B Fibre. I think Fibre Heroes. Okay, this is working up at another leg for me. And it costs me UK £30 a month, which is bloody cheap in my opinion. Okay, so yeah, I can see it's another leg up here. Should get similar. Yeah, 900 is brilliant, especially for streaming, because we can have conversations and there's about a second or two delay, but it takes you that long to process it, doesn't it? But yeah, it does make life easier. Streaming is perfect. We've got a 4K TV and I can stream 4K without a single hiccup. But it does make life easier. And it's quick to fit as well. We've got like a post outside the house, so they connect it from there to the house, put it into a new hub, and yeah, super quick. But my 500 is absolutely 500 is still mega quick. That's 10 times what I used to have, and I thought that was relatively quick. Yeah, so we have got a bigger channel here. I sort of guessed we were going to, but because we start from here, we didn't have that first swing. I wasn't sure exactly where this channel was going to come back to. Oh shit! Excuse me a sec. Sorry about that, the dogs. I nearly shit me pants there. Sorry about that. One of them sits under the desk. Okay, so yeah, we've come back to there. We've had a higher low and off we've took. But yeah, 900 megabits is brilliant. It's just under a gigabit, isn't it? But yeah, it does make streaming easier. I did have a few hiccups. I had one day where I couldn't trade, and there was one day where I think it cut off halfway through it. But ever since, it's been fine. Once in a while, they'll do maintenance early hours of the morning. But much better. £30 a month, which is cheap, I think, for the speed. And I don't have the box or the dish now with Sky. I just have Sky Stream, which is just a little small box. It's about 4 inches square, and everything's streamed now, so I am $200 away from passing. Good for you, Ryan. But I am a chicken to take a trade. What you could do, mate, is depending on how many days you've been trying for, is cut it down to one contract and go for 2 trades. Or just sit patiently. Yeah, don't get scared of it. Mind you, having said that, I remember trading an evaluation and it felt like I had a vice around my neck. The evaluations don't bother me at all anymore. And I'm getting less stressed with PAs. I just wait for a setup and I just go and commit. That's all you can do. So we've pushed that, we've come back, and it looks like we're retesting this. But I'd prefer to come back to here and wait for a higher low. But I think it's feasible we may now get a leg up. So we got a leg up, maybe a couple of legs back or something, and maybe some more. So in fact, if you look at the 4,000 tick chart, that push that went sideways, the higher low there, that to me, it's a higher low and it's a second entry long. That to me, out of all these bars, is where I would go long. That I wouldn't, because we're at the highs. That's the one where I would go long. And look what happened. I'm not the only one. So the thing is, on these charts, sometimes I don't know whether you're better off taking down your risk and trading these. Obviously, the bars are a little bit bigger. It's obviously bigger. The ATRs, is it that one? Yeah, the ATR's a bit larger. What is it? It's probably around about 4, I'd say. Okay, 3.5. So you'd have to adjust your risk, but sometimes it does cut out a lot of shit. The more you do this, the easier it gets mentally. I absolutely 100% agree. You can't get into this and start trading with real money and not be scared shitless. You just can't do it. But the more you're doing it, the more you're working that mind, aren't you? You're moulding your mind. We all know you can mould the body. You can go into a gym and come out 2 years later look like a completely different person. Well, you can absolutely manipulate the mind as well. It's just a bit obvious with the body, but with the mind, you can't quite see what goes on inside. But I absolutely agree. I've said that, for quite a while now. And I still go back to the story when I was 13 or 14, I went to boxing classes. I remember the first time I ever got into a ring, and I had all these plans and it didn't work. You just absolutely lose it and start swinging like a crazy man. But you look at the guys who've been boxing for 2 or 3 years, you still got the emotions, but they're good at managing it because they've done it many times. So it's like anything when you do something when you're still relatively new, and I say new, even where I am now, sort of 2.5 years, I still feel it. It's not as bad, but I try and manage those feelings by reducing the risk a bit, and hopefully the two should start to blend nice. Yeah, this is one of those businesses that you just have to go with it. We see a lost, a blown PA account as a failure. What it actually is a really valuable lesson, and you have to make these fails to get lessons. Unfortunately, because we're retail traders, we have to pay for our own training. And our own training is costly. If you get sucked up by a big investment bank and they pay you a wage, they teach you how to do it. Unfortunately, we haven't got that luxury. We've got to do it the hard way. So when we become successful, you could certainly say we've earned our stripes. That's for certain. See, I usually like coming back here to take the trades, but I'm just unsure whether there's sort of a different. Maybe not. Yeah, once you get consistent at this and start to make money, and you will at some point, it's inevitable. how long it takes is the is the one that can really vary. But to me, it's inevitable. If you keep coming back and you try to change what doesn't work, you'll get successful. I'm not saying you're going to be a millionaire, but there's no reason why you can't 100, 200, 300,000 a year without any great difficulty, really. And then when you get to that level, you've clearly proved you can trade. It's a matter of scaling up if you choose to. I do look at Max sometimes. He only trades 20 contracts. But perhaps he's happy doing that. Perhaps he makes enough money doing that, and perhaps he doesn't want, the extra hassle or risk. But then, I've heard rumours that Daniel trades up to 100 contracts. I've certainly seen some of the videos that Max played in the last few years where he's traded 20 and 40 contracts. Okay, so unfortunately, we haven't got back here. You can't really trade that. It's sort of a first entry, really. There's nothing there, really, unfortunately. Who's Daniel? Daniel Q. Shin, his name is. He's a guy that's been on the Facebook group for quite a while. He was there when I sort of started 2.5 years ago, and he's pretty successful. He does all right. He makes some good money. But I've heard, rumours. A guy knows him quite well that's told me he trades 100 contracts on occasion. But if you look back on some of Mac's videos, Daniel sent some of his charts in, because on some of them where I've got the information on the right here, you can see his name Daniel, and then they started blurring out in the end, but you can see Daniel, so you can see it's his private account. and Max put quite a few videos, and you can see some of them he's traded 20 contracts and some of he's traded 4, and they go back sort of 18 months. So obviously, over the last 18 months, they've increased. Do you still have a Replicanto code? Yes, I do, mate. It's UKFT20. And incidentally, excuse me a sec. I'd have a look quickly because the price was due to go up from $150 to $200 at the end of September. So whether it has or not, I don't know, but have a look. But you can still get the 20% off, so UKFT20. But I'd have a quick look because I got an email, and I remember showing it on here, that they were putting the price up, the full price up from $150 to $200. TraderSync, Sam, is, I was going to have a talk to you about that after. TraderSync is, it's just like a chart. What's the word? It's, you've heard of TradeZilla, haven't you? It's, what's the word code? It's like a journal, trade journal. If I, where is it? If I quickly show it, it just journals your trades. What I do is I save a file from NinjaTrader and then import it, and it drags all the information from my trading day. I've got it on here. All the information from my trading day, but I need to start following. I've got no idea what my equity curve is. Now, I haven't filled anything in here yet, but that's basically all the information, but it gives you all the details. There's all sorts of stuff here. A software. No, it's a web-based platform. But yeah, I save when I figured out how to do it properly, I'll show you in a couple of days, but it'll show you your equity curve. There's dozens of bits of stuff it does. But it's just like a journal. It saves you having to fill a form in. I like TraderView. Yeah, it's almost definitely similar. But there is, I think the Pro version, which is the quite basic version, is about $25 per month if you have the yearly thing, and I can get you 50% off that, which would be $12 a month. But there's a bunch of packages anyway, so... Replicanto is a one for it, which you can get 1 year license. That's lower the price of lifetime. I don't know. I know I tried it once. Are you trading one contract on your PA account? Yes, I am, bud. What was I saying? There's a bunch of them, yeah. But lots of people have said you need to start journaling your trades. Now, you can write them down, but the beauty of having a bit of software to do it is at the click of a button, it'll show you, because I can't remember how to do it now, but I'm going to have a go later. If you go into your main sort of where it says your accounts, logs and orders, and you click on executions, and you click anywhere in it, and you click export, and then you can, it takes everything over, all your information, and it stores it daily. And at the click of a button, you can look what your equity curve in. It'll tell you what your win and loss percentage is. There's all sorts of bits of information. I believe on the elite version, it'll even play back your trade for the day, but it does a bunch of stuff. But if anybody is interested in it, go and have a look at it. But if you use UKFT lowercase, they'll give you 50% off an annual price. So the cheapest one is the Pro, which is $25. So you get that for $12 a month. But you can have a trial of that as well. I think it's for a week. But I've been looking at that one, and I know what's it guy uses TradeZeller, the Nutty Bar Trader guy. So I've been looking at the two, and I had a Zoom meet with I think it was the CEO, Josh of TradeSync last night, and he was talking me through how to use bits and so on, and deals and offers and all that sort of stuff. But he's also given me a year's subscription to give away to someone, so I'm going to figure something out there. A year's subscription of the elite one, which will save you about $800, something like that, where you can use that for a year. But have a look into it first and see what you think. But if you are interested, I can get you 50% off the annual stuff. But I'm going to have a play around with it first before I start sort of, I do an intra-rate trade performance. Yeah, I know there's an equity curve in there, isn't there? But I was watching one of the videos and I thought, I could do with that. And I kind of like the format a bit more than TradeZeller. That's the only reason I looked at this one. So if we can get back here, trouble is I'd like to get back here really. The journal. If you have the elite one, it's about we don't need this for this one. It's the elite one is about $700. It's about $800 a year for the elite one. But I can get you 50% off that, which takes it down to $400. But in all fairness, with what we do, I can't see you needing that one. But no, that what they've said to me is they'll give me one that I can give away to someone on the stream, and you get the elite one for a year for free. But if you do the Pro one, which in all my opinion is okay, it's normally $25 a month, but I could get you 50% off that, which would be $12 a month. But that's for an annual subscription, so that works out about $140 a year. So that's not so bad. But in all fairness, for what I do, I certainly won't pay $800 a year. That's for certain. But even if you wanted the elite, you could get that for $400. But in all fairness, with what we do, I really don't think you need that much detail. But have a look at it on the site, have a play around with it. And if it's something you're interested in, let me know, and you can get some discount off it. Okay, leg. Now let me get another leg here. It'd be nice to retest the top of this. See if we can get something. It depends what you want, but I was told every professional trader has some sort of journey. And I don't know, but there probably is rip-up stuff out there. But it's what you want, isn't it? If it's you want it, you can have it. If you don't want it. But some people write it down, but it's just one of those things, isn't it? So we got leg and a leg. Let's see if we can get something off here. See, we don't take a lot of trades. So I suppose if you're a trader that may take 10 to 15 trades a day, depends what you do. there's a lot more detail there. You could sort of look at what days you might be more profitable, what time of the days, if you're losing trades more later in the day. There's all sorts of things it can give you to help you improve your trading. But if you're only taking a couple of trades a day, we don't really need that much detail, in all fairness. So, which is why I suggested the Pro, which would only be, it's about $12, something like that a month. There is a second entry there. My only slight concern is EMA has gone flat and we're a little bit further away, so it is possible for that to trigger and come down. So I'm a little bit nervous about taking that. Does it look better on one of the other ones? No. I'm just a little bit cautious of that because it's quite a ways away from this, so it could trigger and come back down. High and low would be a better option, I think. Triangle 1, triangle 1, there's a failure there, possible failure. Trouble is, if you go long there, you're going into that midline. And it could be going a bit sideways there. See, they've got a point and a quarter of a squeeze there. There is a higher low there. See, I'm not 100% sure. I've seen Mac do that sometimes and miss out bits. I don't know. Trouble is, there is a potential higher low there, but it is possible that this could be a little bit sideways. I'm not convinced it is, but just something feels a little bit, it's a bit wicky, isn't it? So going along there, you just don't know whether it trigger and stop you out, but I'm just not a fan of it. I'd much prefer to get it over this side of the channel. So we've had a couple of touches here, we've had a touch there, we've had a touch there. Leg and leg. It is a leg and a leg, and it may work, but for me, I'd rather get a little bit further down here, to be honest with you. What do you do when I reach the threshold for the PA? Do I take 2,000 to cover some of the fees I've used, or do I keep trying to build a count? Is it your first count, bud? Is it? If it's your first count and you've struggled to get there multiple times, what I would do personally is take the money, because it's a good sense of an achievement, and I think most people do. Now, the proper thing to do would be to keep running it, but if it's your first and you have struggled to get there, my opinion is take the $2,000. At least then you've got a bit of more money to reinvest. Because if it is, if it is your first, it'd be a shame really to come a little bit further and then to blow it, wouldn't it? You kick yourself. So I'd take the money while it's available. If it's my first, about the first, let me think, the first 8,000 I took straight away. And on the last one, I only took 1,000 out of the two of them. I nearly didn't, and I ended up blowing them. So I'm kind of glad I did. But if it's your first, mate, my honest opinion, withdraw your $2,000. and enjoy the feeling. Yeah, I would. Because you're first, you know, there's a fair chance you may blow it, and it'd be a shame to blow it when you could have had a bit of money out of it. Okay, so there was a higher low there. Trouble is, EMA's flat as a pancake, and it's a bit wicky, so I'm not so sure about that. And it could come back to this channel here and check below there. So for me, I'm kind of glad, and it is going a bit sideways as well, I think. And unfortunately, it's just one of those things. You may have taken that one, but it is a leg and a higher low. But it looks to me like it's in the middle of doing this sideways, which means it could come closer to this, and it could break below there, or indeed there as well. Second entry short there. I'm not looking to take shorts at the moment because we're going up. And there is a possibility it could trigger and push up. I am expecting that move. It may not. It may come back here. Yeah, fell second entry short. Same again. The trouble if it's bouncing off here, we're not quite at this level there. There is a ability it could come back to here. I'm not very comfortable taking trades there. I'd rather take them close to this bit here. It hasn't triggered that short anyway, so. Okay, now it has. I'd still rather come back here. Okay, if I look at the 4,000 tick chart, it looks like to me, oh shit, where's it gone? Like two nice legs back. I kind of like that. Is that it? Yeah. One leg, two legs, and it looks like a spike and channel there, something like that, and it's working kind of nice. So one leg, two leg. We're getting back to where I wanted it to. Here. See, I'm not interested in taking trades there because. Okay, so far so good. So one leg, two leg. I won't be taking this first one. High or low, if it works, that would interest me. Yeah, we're bouncing off the overnight highs there, aren't we? Which is a good sign. Depends how this comes out. On the 4,000 tick chart, it's looking like a spike in a channel, and I have a feeling we may get the same thing here. So let's put it there for now and there for now, and it fits nicer at the tops. One leg, two legs back. That for me is a little bit better actually. In fact, let me take that up a fraction more, just to that maybe there. Let's pull this in. Yes, somewhere around about there. Okay, just excuse me for 2 seconds. I'm just going to nip to the bathroom quickly. Okay, so leg down break. Be nice to come down and touch here. Leg, that'd be nice. If we can get on here nice, channel down leg, new low, I'll be quite happy to try and get a few more points out of that. Chicken to take a trade. Just wait for one. Some trades, when they happen, you just know they're a good trade, and you just jump in, and you know they'll work. So you got to wait for that. Wait for that one. But won't worry if you're concerned about that making that extra $200. Just break it down. Just take one contract, and then come up. Just take your time. The good thing is we're pushing up nice here, so there's a good chance we're going to continue on up. So I'm looking for long trades. Somewhere around about here, though, we've got a little channel down here break. I just want to get round about here. Obviously, depending on how you judge this channel, but it may just, in all fairness, see the 4,000 tick chart is. I've put that about there. It works kind of nice there, and it may after 2 legs push up from there. It's hard to say, but. But at the moment, I'm just sitting tight. It may push up there, but it's hard to say at the moment. So if I put that back to there, what does that look like? Yeah, it's hard to say. It's only a first entry, to be fair. Maybe I'd have been interested in a higher low, but there's nothing. We just come down and go up. So it depends. Excuse me a sec. Sorry about that. Break out and come back and retest somewhere, then interested in that. I like the way it's come back a couple of times and bounced off the overnight highs. Here. I need a little pullback though. When you passed each PA, do you pay the lifetime? Yeah, I pay the lifetime one, mate. The lifetime. Put it this way, if you pay the $80 now, in 30 days they'll charge you again. So if you can hold your account for over 30 days, you've saved money straight away. So it's $140. So it's not a massive amount more. It's about $55 more, but it is frustrating when you see that straight back there and straight up. We know where it's going. We can see the measured legs up there, but unfortunately, there's just no entry. Excuse me a sec. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, what's going on here? What's going on? Pushed out, came back. Roll your PAs now, $1,500 accounts. The $50,000 accounts, you mean, yeah? You're about $50,000 accounts, yeah? Is that what you mean? You put $1,500. No, they're 50,000. If I take any more, I'm going to be doing the 25,000. I don't see the reason why not. You get to your what's it quick. It swings and roundabouts. I don't think there's a massive difference, but you get to your drawdown quicker. So, sorry about the barking. Okay, so we've gone slow. We've had a breakout. We've come back. If we retest this line, see what happens. I don't know. It just seems to me like that's coming down a bit too quick to not pop out. Just I mean, you could say that down a little bit sideways and down. I'm just not a massive fan of taking that first one, so it's going to be a higher low for me. That's a bit neutral anyway. There is a possibility still this could be a little bit of a spike. It's hard to say. 1 minute it fits and I like it, next minute. the reason I've done that is because we've come out and come back in, which tells me we may be coming even closer to this line. I thought we were on it there, that's why we pushed out, but we came back in pretty swiftly. Yeah, I'm not a massive fan of how this is fitting here. We've come back in and now we're pushing up. I think I'm going to miss this move. Good on you, Indy. Good on you, mate. So we can get a high low there. Leg up. Get a high low. Come on. It's definitely working up something, isn't it? Working along something. Oh, it's frustrating, isn't it? Oh, that's a shame. I thought we were going to get a lower high. If we'd have got a lower high there, I'd have taken that one and tried to hold on. Yeah. Unfortunate. Maybe we get one here. Come on. Come down. Yeah, that's been one of those days. I think I might knock it on the head now, actually. Never mind. It is just going to continue up, isn't it? Unfortunately. Okay, I'm going to knock it on the head. Actually, we've done over 3 hours now. So that's it for today, folks. I appreciate all your comments. It's unfortunate, not a great amount of setups today. You're welcome, Chris. Not a great amount of setups. We pretty much know where it's going, but unfortunately, as soon as you're jumping up here when you're not supposed to, down it'll come. So yeah, I'll see you all tomorrow. So have a great evening. Stay safe, and we will talk same time tomorrow. Bye for now.